Gaming's 8th generation has seen franchises find well-deserved respect and growing fan bases by becoming more widely available in the West. Sakura Wars has been a celebrated franchise in its homeland of Japan by mixing visual novel presentation and tactical RPG battles. Though existing since the days of the Sega Saturn, Sakura Wars didn't find any type of footing in the Western Hemisphere until 2010, with an unwise PS2 and Nintendo Wii release during the height of gaming's 7th generation. For yours truly, Sakura Wars on any system just never came together until the 2020 North American release of Sakura Wars, the 6th mainline offering in the franchise. Coming in blind, I sat down with the intent of enjoying what seemed to be an interactive anime featuring one guy, multiple women, and several moments I hoped someone unaware didn't enter the room while I was playing. Set in the year 1940 during an alternate timeline compared to reality where steam has become the main source of power, bright-eyed youngsters looking to turn their love of the theater into something beneficial for society has been birthed. Between theatrical shows, these combat reviews take on the greatest threat known to man, demons. As expected with a game featuring obvious visual novel influences, there is a lot of dialogue leaning toward decisions both large and small that can lead to one of the 5 endings. Following 25 hours of playtime, I saw my first ending, featuring Tough as Nails Hatsuo gaining the spotlight. Reloading my save made before a grand decision, I went back to attain each additional ending, as well as redoing certain scenes and moments to get the best choices, adding another 15 hours to my overall playtime. But these achievements proved to be the least time consuming. Compared to the completion necessities I avoided, including defeating every opponent in the Sakura Wars card minigame, and achieving S rank in every battle scenario with every character. With a solid combat system and storytelling being the main draw, the urge to dump dozens of more hours into combating demons or playing cards just didn't seem worth the effort. After being hired as the new captain of Tokyo's Imperial Combat Reviews' Flower Division, Kamiyama is tasked with several jobs including bringing revenue up for the troops' performances and preparing them for victory during the biennial Combat Review World Games Tournament. It doesn't take long for the player to discover just how much Kamiyama has on his plate, as he works alongside some rather aggressive yet stereotypical personalities, including his old childhood friend Sakura, a would-be stage stealer hindered by her lacking confidence. Each character, a part of the Flower Division, has a distinct personality and traits, be it Hatsuo's aggressiveness to offset her protective nature, Anastasia's air of haughtiness to match her acting skills, Claris's obsession with books prompting her excitement for writing scripts, or a petite ninja in training in Azami, through the game's dialogue choice system dubbed Lips. For live and interactive picture system, the player will discover how each character reacts to Kamiyama's words and actions. For example, Hatsuo may become excited if her captain shouts at the top of his lungs in a rally cry before battle, but Anastasia will find it annoying. Reacting to Kamiyama's fellow protagonists properly will build up the necessary trust to gain one of the aforementioned 5 endings. Trust also plays a role in romance, as the player can enter love missions with each of the 5 main ladies, though only one will win Kamiyama's heart by the end of the story. A narrative that isn't the most remarkable, made so much better thanks to strong characterization and dialogue options. Though this is the 6th entry in the franchise, Sakura Wars ignores a majority of what happened during the previous games, and only references certain moments and characters in small doses, including via collectible cards known as bromids. Mission structure isn't remarkable, with the player usually having to go through a series of events, including traveling to one of the multiple beautifully crafted semi-open world portions of Tokyo to talk to specific characters. Side missions also pop up that can be done at the same time as the majority of the main missions, while providing minor trust-boosting moments, including the aforementioned love missions. Unfortunately, when it comes to making the right lips choice, usually picking the most humorous option will lower trust levels, meaning the player will most likely have to play it pretty straight with Saijiro unless the player is constantly saving and reloading to earn the best choice possible to ensure those trust levels rise, usually near the end of each chapter or dungeons, to emphasize the game's combat system. Taking control of a large mecha known as a Mugen, players will control Kamiyama and up to 2 other characters through similarly or even identically designed maps for some hacking and slashing in an action RPG style rather than the tactical RPG implementation seen in the previous entries. By tapping the circle button, players will execute a standard combo of strikes and weapon attacks that can be capitalized upon via the triangle button as a high impact combo ender. Each playable character has their own special attack that can be activated once the bar underneath that character's health fills up, courtesy of crystals dropped by fallen enemies or broken containers. Character trust is also connected to the combat system, as Kamiyama and his partner can pull off a team attack, an action that buffs the attack output and defenses of the protagonist. There is no ability to block or guard, but the player can dodge incoming attacks. If timed properly right before the player's character is struck, the active character will perform a perfect dodge that slows down time and gives the player a window of invincibility to land a slew of strikes, including a one-button execution usable if an opponent is low on health. Enemies are rarely tough to overcome, though attacking some of the more airborne enemies can be a little too unreasonable to hit, even when using a lock-on system that struggles to stay oriented when facing more than a few enemies, something that is rare outside of a grand boss battle. Another issue in regards to combat is the lack of difficulty. Not a single enemy posed a true threat right down to the final boss. And with no option for upping the difficulty, those hoping for a challenge when it's time to fight will need to look elsewhere. From a technical and presentation perspective, Sakura Wars is mostly stellar. The game uses various known anime and manga artists to add some distinct character designs, though a few definitely don't look like they should be a part of this game. The usage of audio during dialogue is quite jarring, with certain scenes being fully voiced. Some are completely muted with static character models, and others feature no sound, but obvious lip movement to correlate with the text. There is no dub for those who don't care for subtitles. While it's hard to believe Sakura Wars will gain a new rabid fan base, hoping for each non-localized iteration, those who enjoy the mixing of visual novels and rather shallow action RPG mechanics will be as satisfied as Kamiyama telling his crew that it's time to roll into battle. Though Sakura Wars mostly ignores all the events of what happened before it, completely changes the combat, and has some presentation issues, this 6th iteration in the franchise provides some satisfying character interactions, as the story moves in a rather prototypical direction for people who've watched anime similar to this game. For those who enjoy more narrative and dialogue than combat in their anime-style video game, it's hard to deny just how fantastic this offering is for gamers both knowledgeable and ignorant to the franchise, giving it a high recommendation. But the dedicated action RPG gamer won't find much to be happy about, making this at most a rental. No matter what side of the fence you find yourself on as a gamer, enjoy life as best as you can, like Kamiyama digesting a godly meal.